Folks, unless you've been sleeping under a rock, you know that GameStop, GME, Roaring Kitty, Deep F and Value, Keith Gill, we're back in this really strange cycle where an individual person is making a ton of money, and then all of a sudden, when he's causing shorts quite a bit of pain, media and politicians and people with just talking heads, they just say the most wild, unbased, unrealistic, illogical things. We know with GameStop going up in recent days, it's cost short sellers about $1 billion. Short sellers in danger of extinction after crushing stock gains. So it's not just GME right now. The market's up. You have other plays like Nvidia. There's a lot of stocks that are rippity skippity doodah, and the people who've been betting against it have been not doing well. So let's focus in on one. Roaring Kitty post seems to show that the trader held on to giant GameStop stake after Monday's rally. So after the market closed on Monday, he once again posted his position that is above my head right now. As you can see, he owns 5 million shares of GameStop, and he's in about $21 and some change. He also has 120,000 call options, which would represent, if he does exercise them all, another 12 million shares. So yesterday's gain alone was just below $80 million, 24 million from the stock, 54 million from the actual call option. So he's up quite a bit. The fact that he held on to it, I mean, yesterday we were real time monitoring the GameStop, the GME options market, and we saw someone dumping calls, but apparently it was not him. Unless this is photoshopped, I have no idea, but I'm going to take this at what it's worth. And right now the account is worth $290 million. Assuming all of this money is his, and yes, some people are starting to speculate that maybe he does or doesn't have backers, but I'm just going to assume it's all his. He's actually now worth more than Pelosi, which I think deserves a round of applause. I truly do. And this story in itself of another saga of him taking on shorts, taking on Wall Street, taking on the elite is crazy in itself, but yesterday it got even more nuts. E-Trade is considering removing the trader known as Roaring Kitty from its platform over concerns about possible manipulation of GameStop stock. What? He's not out there telling anyone to buy or sell or do anything. He posted memes and he posted his own position. That's it. He has not had a public-facing discussion whatsoever. If you're gonna talk about if this is manipulation, in my humble opinion, there are much more egregious things going on in this world related to the stock market than what's going on with Roaring Kitty. It very much seems like the people who are insulated with power and money and connection just don't like this because one guy is all of a sudden putting that at risk for them. And to better articulate and to better show off what I'm talking about is breaking. Citron Research says Roaring Kitty's GameStop GME trades are appearing more like manipulation without a solid thesis. First of all, there's no rule. There's no requirement that you have to have a solid thesis. That is opinionated. There are people who invest on the moon cycle. And even though I don't think that is a solid thesis, if they do and it's making them money, or if they just like it, that's a solid thesis to them. A solid thesis is not a law. It's not a regulation. That is the silliest thing ever. It's just, if you have a strong enough opinion to put your money where your mouth is on a bullish or a bearish position, have at it. That's what a free market is. They also believe that someone is financially backing Roaring Kitty. Might be true, might not be true. I don't know. Citron says that his reported finances don't support this trade. Is Citron Research right this time? We'll find out. Last time, I mean, they're obviously going to be salty because last time they took a 100% loss. But once again, if we're getting into this world of is it manipulation, is it not manipulation? Like I said, I can name a gazillion trades that seem more questionable and more worthwhile for us to discuss of is that above or below board than what Roaring Kitty is doing. Imagine having an issue with the Roaring Kitty, but not our politicians and their trades. And you might be thinking, hey, that's an easy David versus Goliath populist speaking point of, yeah, our politicians shouldn't be doing. Folks, these are some recent politician trades. Tommy Tuberville, one of my favorite political insider traders. This is a dude who was a college football coach, wasn't even worth $1 million when he became a senator, and now he's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. We've seen him day trading corn futures, and then you do research on him, he sits on the ag committee. That's Tommy Tuberville. Are you kidding me? And obviously I'm talking about the corn futures just because that's one that I find to be like particularly hilarious, but he invested in an unknown stock, Humusite, ticker symbol HUMA. This stock that no one knows of is testing their tech on Ukrainian soldiers for treating combat injuries. He's sitting on the Armed Services Committee. Are you kidding me? And of course, it's up a ton. He's making a ton of money, but he's not the only one. Earlier this year, we had right here, Josh Gothenheimer doesn't know anything about biotech, pharmaceuticals, medical supplies. He's not in that world. He's a career politician, and yet he's crushing it with a 100% gain on, once again, a know-nothing pharmaceutical company, and it doesn't end there. Senator Thomas Carpenter, this is a new one, Occidental. Carper is the chairman of the Senate Committee on the Environment, and his wife is trading? Does no one see the connections here? And this, I think, to anyone logically thinking about it, excluding Pelosi, would say, oh, okay, maybe the people who are in the know, making decisions, are talking to the lobbyists, are talking to the companies, clearly have insider information, as in, if we traded on the stuff that they had, we'd be in jail. But for them, they're just lining their pockets, they're just growing their bank account. And all of a sudden, this is happening. It's been happening. And then Roaring Kitty, a random dude from Massachusetts, finally makes a crazy good call on GameStop. And they're like, well, that's manipulation. And like I said, if you want to have that discussion, you can have it, but there's way more impactful, way more egregious things. Roaring Kitty's a random dude who's doing his thing. These are people who took an oath to serve you, to serve me, to serve their constituents, and all of a sudden it's completely fine if they're doing it. How are there possibly people in this world who are mad at Roaring Kitty and not mad at politicians? It does not make sense.